I loved it. What a great way to open. So, yeah. So thank you, Sean, wherever you are. Okay, we're going to start up again. Greg, bye. Come on up, Greg. You want it on? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Stuff?
Okay, sure. Okay. I didn't rehearse for that, but anyway, this is a true story. I found myself in a dream recently at the podium, behind the microphone in a ghost town gathering, preparing to read my poem. The audience silently stares, waiting patiently for me to proceed. Read the damn poem, I said to myself. Can't keep them waiting. In my hands was a stack of papers and a Mars plastic eraser. No poem to read. Wing it, I cried. They will never know you drew a blank, for it is only a dream, or is it? For my second poem, I came prepared. I shall read one written by someone else, namely T.S. Eliot, The Hollow Men, Part 5. This poem resonates with me on a personal level, but recently it has perhaps taken on more of a universal angst quality, largely if reports are true that climate change is much worse than they reported, like where it's a point of no return or something. And then there's also the ever-present threat of a nuclear exchange to bring on the apocalyptic kingdom of God. Indeed. But in that case, it would be a bang and not a whimper. But Hollow Men, Part 5, T.S. Eliot. Here we go round the prickly pear, prickly pear, prickly pear. Here we go round the prickly pear at 5 o'clock in the morning. Between the idea and the reality, between the motion and the act, falls the shadow. For thine is the kingdom. Between the conception and the creation, between the emotion and the response, falls the shadow. Life is very long. Between the desire and the spasm, between the potency and the existence, and the descent, falls the shadow. For thine is the kingdom. For thine is. Life is. For thine is the. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang but a whimper. Okay, and for my final short piece, I will perform an homage to Scott Kelman, an important figure in late 20th century theater. He established the off-Broadway theater movement in New York in the 1960s, among other accomplishments. In the early 1980s, he moved to Los Angeles, where he gave his unwavering commitment to innovative theater for over a decade. Portland was Scott's next and final destination, arriving in 1995. He conducted workshops, taught college courses, and prepared theatrical productions virtually to the day he passed in early 2007. Perhaps some of you attended Kelman's workshop, and my friend Tracy would have been here. There have been at least one, but she didn't show up. Perhaps some of you attended his classes or workshops, and he was that prolific. For those wanting to know more about him and his work, I encourage you to take one of the flyers I brought and look him up online. There's lots of interesting stuff there. This is called You and Your Performance, in memory of Scott Kelman. I really don't care about Scott Kelman. I do care about the performance you prepared because you care about Scott Kelman. Deliberation. Check it out. Find space in which to create. Empathy. Yield. Don't act upon your first step, on your first thoughts. Sound and movement. Find your center. Riff. The way we generate script. Sound and movement. Generate rhythm. Think jazz. Generate poetry. To teach, to move, to delight. Pretty words string together. Images fall out. Generate the rhythms. Images emerge. Generate the rhythms. Poetry emerge. Word begets image. Poetry emerge. Poetry, don't fear the words. Generate the rhythms. Images emerge. Behold the rhythms. Performance emerge. Thank you.